I love that we're all giving a very similar color scheme today. That makes me very happy.
Cool colors.
It's like David is the middle ground between mine and Lana's fans. I like that. I'm a big fan of that, actually. Anyway. Hola, 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 y bienvenidos a The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, say something gay, and despite wanting to get something else to drink before this recording, I'm just drinking water, because I forgot. So that's all.
But if you're drinking anything else, you would be...
I was going to let Lana do it.
Oh. Well, we'll get to that. But I'm David Healy.
How dare you try to take Lana's moment?
I mean, you usually do. Right? I'm not crazy. You do that all the time. I mean, not take her moment, but you bring up the cup. But anyways, my name's David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, despite this intro that I just gave.
It was actually a cute intro today.
But
trying to be cute here.
Okay, I do have a cute intro. You saw it. I also have a cute shirt and a very cute shirt. I am wearing one of my favorite drag queens from last year. Somebody who deserves a crown. It is the one and only Matraka Traka Traka.
Period.
Mm-hmm. But I am just drinking some water.
And Logan has taken my moment from time to time, but not all the time. Not all the time. Yes, not all the time, but sometimes. And hello, you guys. I am Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And if you have some tea, you know what you do. Hit me up. I'm currently just drinking water right now. And if I was drinking anything else.
If you were drinking anything else.
Now see what happened here today.
This is what happens when you put me in front of Lana. I'm used to being behind Lana, so it's just mass confusion.
I am going to walk out of here. I'm just going to leave.
No.
I almost pulled that. I'm so happy we have that now. It makes me so happy. Oh no.
If I was drinking anything else, I'll be drinking out of this cup mug right here. And I guess we have a panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Burn, 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 burn.
Oh no.
I'm going to give you the most energy that I have. I am so sorry to everyone who is going to say, I feel like I'm hiding from my parents' room because I have no energy today. But guess what? Life is lifing, and I'm a human being, and sometimes I don't have the energy. But I'm here, and I'm going to give you my tea. But you know what you could get, though? You can get this cup mug and make me feel better, and then I'll have more energy if you get this cup mug or any of our cup merch at LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically here in the United States, so there are no excuses. In España, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at all of you. And I'm even looking at the people in the UK because that's what a comment was made, that I ain't had no energy. I'm calling you out because I have energy when I want to have energy. And I don't have energy when I live a life that takes away my energy and zaps it from me in this real world that we call life. I am so sorry I can't be on all the time. But I am here and I'm giving you my best. Thank you.
Lana said,
I'm great. I'm great.
I'm great.
See, this is what happens when this is the first time that the three of us have podcasted together in about 2.5 weeks. It's just chaos.
Yeah, it was weird doing this. I'm like, I forgot how to do this.
I didn't even do it. That's what
Nope.
I was.
Oh, it's been a minute, but we are all back together, and we're talking about what I thought was the penultimate episode of this season, but it's just the semifinals of Drag Race España
It is
All-Stars.
penultimate.
Well, there's a reunion next week, so not really.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, did you not watch the preview?
I guess not.
Oh yeah, they have a reunion next week. For some, we need a reunion for a 5-episode season. I don't really know why, but so yeah, this is the semifinals of Drag Race España All Stars. I think we're all just ready for the season to be over.
Unfortunately, yes.
But
I hate to say that about any season because I'm like, it feels negative, but unfortunately,
this season has been negative.
Yes, I kind of want it to be over right now.
And in all of that, I have to say, this might have been my favorite episode of the season.
It was good.
I think I agree.
It was a pretty dang good episode. I'm not mad at this episode. I'm mad at other things, which we'll talk about shortly. But before we do, make sure to subscribe if you're not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. We've got a lot of other beautiful things coming out very, very shortly. Yes, we're covering Solo Lamas. I already know there's going to be a comment the moment I drop this video. We are covering Solo Lamas. We got to get our stuff together first on the back end. But we will be talking about the cast very soon, so don't worry.
Stop coming for us. We got it. We got this.
We got it.
Let us do us. You do you, boo. We go do us. We got this. Period.
We're excited, but there's also a lot of things happening, such as and including our 2 other channels where we cover almost all things reality TV and almost all things Eurovision Song Contest, with more fun, exciting things on the horizon. Across the board. And if you want, you can also become a member of our channel here and join the tea room. You can hit the join button down below on this video, or you can head over to Patreon. Words are hard. You can head over to Patreon. Same content, different platform. That link will be down in the description below. So with that being said, we come back after the absolutely disgusting treatment of Sagittaria last week. I'm not going to have my moment because I don't want to give Supreme any more airtime on this podcast than I need to. But that was gross. And honestly, I'm kind of siding with Sagittaria in a lot of this. Even the online drama, I'm kind of siding with Sagittaria. And I didn't think that I would come out of this season liking Sagittaria as much as I do. But she is gone. Thankfully, Samantha made the right decision last week. Thankfully, Juriji also made the right decision last week because we do find out that she also picked Sagittaria.
But unfortunately, I don't like how they talked about it when they went back to the
Oh, no. Especially Pupi.
Especially Pupi. And she was rooting for you. I found this to be the grossest workroom untucked moment that I was just like, ew.
Pupi,
And
your name is not Bennett.
Huh?
Pupi's name is not Bennett.
Right.
She's not in it.
Everybody was, I got it. That's what I was like. But I'm like, everybody was on her neck. And I'm like, are y'all kidding me? She asked to leave for mental reasons, and we like, she's annoying. She's difficult. She's complicated. I don't like her. She can go. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna skip past this because ew. All of them look bad in that moment. Every last one of them, to me. None of them walked out of that in that moment looking good for me. I was just like, ew, all of you are gross. All of you.
I agree with that. This season, like, the problem is I do like so many people on this cast, and I do like so many people in this top 5 that it's just kind of disappointing to see, even if they're not actively saying things about the Sagittarius situation, seeing that, they're not saying anything like in her favor or towards her or anything like that. Just it's disappointing for sure. I wish we were, getting some positive mental health representation, especially with how much we've gotten over the last couple of years on Drag Race. And at the end of the day, Drag Race is hard. I've never done it, but I've heard from a lot of people that it's very difficult, and it's caused a lot of people to quit. We've seen several of them recently. So,
More people.
Yeah, across all the shows we're watching.
All the shows.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 2 weeks have either threatened to or have quit. So it's just we have to remember that these people are human. They're giving us enjoyment to watch on TV, but at the end of the day, they're all human. And we should be acknowledging that. And they should be acknowledging that. And yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting All-Star season for me, because I think this might go down as the first time of an All-Star season where the cast as a whole, I like them less after the season than I did going in. Usually I start to like people more and more. And there are exceptions. There are people that have really surprised me this season. And then there's other people who have done very well, but their attitude that they keep giving is just making it so hard for me to root for them, even if they're dominating challenges week after week.
Drag Sethlas.
So yeah, I think this is
Sethlas.
This is kind of an anomaly of an All-Star season, honestly.
It really is. And because I'm thinking about it as well. And I think this is the first time where, there are a lot of, I find myself loving Onyx more. Shocker. I was like, oh, Pichadora, I'm happy you're here this week. Your makeup was absolutely atrocious, but I'm happy to see you. Paquita, I was like, oh, Paquita, they didn't deserve you on this season. I just think, honestly, they did this All-Stars too early. I know a lot of people have been asking for an España All-Stars, myself included, but I really think they needed to wait for another season. They needed to wait for season 4 to happen, make it a bigger production. And I just think it would have been better for everybody involved. Because the person who wins this season, at this point, unfortunately, there's kind of two options. Neither of them, from an editing standpoint, look all that great coming out of the season. So, at least in my opinion. But we go back into the workroom the next day. Everybody comes in. Supreme comes in. We find out that the semifinal challenge is the Hairdressers Roast, where they
for a cast of queens without hair.
Because everyone's bald except for Hornella. That is what killed me the most. I was like, I feel so seen in this moment. I have to be honest. I felt very represented, on this entire season, as part of the bald community. No kidding, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that today. But yes, everyone's bald except for Hornella, and we're doing a hairdresser's ball. Sure. Not ball, roast. What is this season? I don't know anymore. But we're roasting the judges, we're roasting the eliminated contestants, which means, oh no, Sagittaria, you might have taken yourself out of the competition last week, but guess what? You're back.
Only to get roasted.
Only to be the star of this episode and the winner of this week's challenge. We'll talk about it, but Sagittaria, you icon, you.
I like how the subtitles referred to everybody as the victims of the roast. They're like,
I know. I was like,
wait, the eliminated queens are going to be the victims? What about these? Can these people that are still here be victims too?
Right. I was like,
maybe.
Everybody was a victim.
Everybody was a victim.
Apparently. So they have to pick the order that they do things in, because there's no mini challenges anymore.
Let's go alphabetical.
Now this I did think was interesting. So they end up going alphabetical.
Drag first.
Drag first.
I was like, your name is Sethlas, but okay, drag.
But hey, even alphabetically, as far as the promos were concerned, it was drag Sethlas first.
Mm-hmm.
So
everybody was kind of
first name is drag.
First name is drag.
Last name Sethlas. Mm-hmm.
I will only be referring to her as drag for the rest of the season.
Ooh, it's going to be
drag gets to go first.
It's going to be confusing when we have all the different Canary Island queens.
Don't put the Canary Queens on the same season, y'all. Unless their names are
There's
not.
an alliance between drag, and drag.
I think drag really deserved to be in the top 3 this week. I don't think drag deserved that spot.
But drag also did well, so I think drag should be there too, right?
But drag's runway was not nearly as good as drag's runway, though. So that's why I think
who should drag have bumped out of the top 2? Drag?
I think drag. I think drag should have drag out there.
And why is it drag?
Like drag should not have been there. I will stand 10 toes down that drag should not have been in the top 2. It should have been drag.
Like drag should have gone home.
Drag definitely should have went home after that lip sync. Now which drag are we talking about?
I missed podcasting with y'all, to be honest.
Write it down. Write it down, Logan.
Fuck you. Okay. Anyway, Sethlas gets to go first.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a special guest to help them, who none of them knew who she was.
I had no idea who she was.
Surprisingly, I did.
Oh.
So this is Inés Hernand. Or Hernan, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
She, not this year, but the last 2 years of the Spanish national selection for Eurovision, she was a host.
Mm-hmm.
So I was familiar enough with her. And then when Sethlas was like, oh my God, she was that fabulous woman that hosted Benidorm. I was like, yes, she was, Sethlas. And she was great. And she's wonderful. And very funny. So I thought she was lovely.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this episode is a lot of they spend 20 minutes with Inez and Supreme.
It was very long. I was like, okay, y'all.
But hey, I'm not mad at it because it did result in one of the best roasts of all time, in my opinion. We'll talk about it. Because I think everybody did. Is that the cue to go to the runway now, Lana? Is that what we're doing now instead of the music that David knew nothing about? Oh, it's in the episode we haven't dropped yet.
Oh, okay.
Where Lana exposed all of your tea. Talking about how we play the runway music to prep and transition into
didn't know that.
Yep.
Yep. The only other thing that happened before the runway, which I thought was interesting, was we had a conversation with Sethlas and Pupi, where Sethlas was like, hey, Pupi, you remember I saved you. And it was like, okay, I see what you're doing. And she's like, I'm being smart. I'm putting that out there just in case she loses and Pupi has to save her. This is definitely going to come to fruition in this episode.
Absolutely. Definitely 100%. Absolutely.
Dang.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
I mean, but I think it's time now.
I think it is time, but... And we have women on the runway, and only women currently. And no, to answer David's question, I didn't cut out the hobbies on purpose, but maybe I did. Ooh. Supreme does not look good. But Inez and Anna Locking look fantastic.
Oh, I thought Supreme looked pretty good.
It's fine.
It's very standard. Like, this is what I expect from a host.
Absolutely. It looks all right. It's not horrible.
It's not great. Yeah. It's not horrible. But I think Inez looks gorgeous. I love the chainmail situation that's happening.
I hate chainmail.
I don't like it. It makes her look short and squat.
I meant the actual chainmail.
I know. I'm talking about the actual garment. Because she had those high boots on with the chainmail. It makes her look very short and squat. And I don't think she's that short and squat.
But also, you're mostly seeing her from behind the judging panel. And so in that regard, I think she looked fine. But I do agree with you. In the full body, it doesn't.
Sitting, she looks stunning. Standing, I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And a locking queen.
Queen of giving realistic critique.
Absolutely.
Thank God. At least someone is. And then the hobbies are there. They look fine.
The one in the brown jacket is creeping me out more and more each day, each week. I don't know what it is
No,
about him.
creeping you out.
I don't know. It is creeping. It's something about him. Every week I get more and more creeped out by him. The other one looks fine. I like him.
Because he's swine.
Huh?
He's swine.
Oh my God.
Well, stop it. But it's something about him that creeps me out every week. Every week I'm like, oh, no. So, but sure, great. Can we move? Thank you.
We sure can. To the roast. What did we think of the roast, everyone?
Should we go in order?
Sure.
Okay, I will talk about drag Sethlas. I'm going to talk about drag.
Drag here.
Yep.
What do we think of drag and drag's look and
What do I
drag's
think of
performance and drag?
I thought drag had a very strong delivery during this roast. Like oozing confidence, very cutting as well with the jokes. I thought it was surprisingly like really good. I think she set the standard very, very high. And I was like, are you gonna be the best of this roast? And for a while I was thinking you're gonna be the best of the roast. And that may have changed, it may not have, but I really liked all of her jokes and just the whole persona that she I also want to say I really like that they had this specific type of theme for the roast, because we've seen a few different roasts where there's a theme like this. And they don't always like add much, but for this specific one, I think it really added for pretty much everybody.
I thought it was good. I laughed. She may have some funny moments. I enjoyed it. I wasn't like bored from it, so that makes me happy. I love this look. I love the pantsuit. And I love this wig that she's wearing. Overall, I thought she did a really, really good job.
Yeah, I agree with that. This pantsuit for me is one of my favorite things that drag has worn on the season, honestly. And it's such a simple, just pantsuit, blazer. The softness of her makeup in this as well. I was like, this is so different. And I didn't recognize her when she walked out. I was like, oh, that's drag. Oh, okay. I found myself very, very entertained by drag Sethlas here. The jokes were good. The delivery was strong. And that was my number one thing. And I was a little concerned for her because at the start of the episode, she goes, this is not my thing. And I was like, oh, is this going to be her one time in the bottom and they're going to send her home? Oh my God, they sent home. No, it didn't happen. But rightfully didn't happen because I think her delivery was very strong. She was able to get a lot of the easier, I guess, jokes out of the way. And we heard a couple people, say similar jokes afterwards. But yeah, I thought she did a lovely job. And someone else who did a lovely job, Hornella.
Yes, Hornella. I really liked her idea to compare everybody to different kinds of nails. I thought that was so smart. And I wish I knew anything about nails because I would try to read both of you and compare you to nails, but I can't think of anything. I'm not good. I don't know nails. One day we'll do a roast.
David is just a clear coat. Nothing more, nothing less.
Not a clear coat. I mean, it's clear coats are top coats and strong and shiny. It keeps our nails together.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I meant.
And I was explaining it to David.
Okay. Well, Logan looks like a press-on that fell off.
Oh, burn.
Is it because I'm bald?
Maybe.
Is it because I'm bald, David?
Absolutely.
Okay, but no, I thought she had some really good jabs in there too. Like I thought hers was so good. I was like, okay, we know who the top two are. After two performances. I was like, surely it can't get any better than these two.
Well, Julie.
Yeah, I thought her idea was so good. I was like, yes, coming with the nails and comparisons with the nail jokes and being the nail tech. I love that. I thought it was a good idea. It made it easier for me to follow along with and understand what she was talking about because I do know a little something about nails. And so I was like, oh, yep, okay, makes sense. Got it. Oh, all right. I thought Hornella was funny. She handled it. She delivered it well. She wasn't over the top crazy with it, but it was just like right in that sweet spot where you have to be for a roast because you have to be at least a little bit biting, but not super rude. Like you can be harsh, but not rude. And I think she was right in that sweet spot of funny and a little cutting. And I enjoyed her. I enjoyed the way she performed. And I even enjoyed that she came out looking like a nail tech with all the cutting board and the things on.
Yeah.
I love that. I think she did great.
I think Hornella should have been in the top 2. I think I would have put her in the top 2. I really enjoyed what she did. She had a clear concept. I knew from the start of her routine where we were going with this, and she had one of my 2 favorite jokes of the evening, which talking about drag going. She's like talking about her nails, short, manicured, and easy to stick up your ass. So good. Like though her delivery, I will say, was a little rushed. And that was the only thing she really had against her, was that I don't think she let the audience breathe a little bit. And I wanted a bit more of a consistent pacing with her routine. But the material that she had was incredibly funny. And I, too, David, was like, this can't get any better, right? And then Juriji walks onto the stage.
Well, yeah, I thought Juriji was very funny in this. She always is. She's one of the best people at just being bunty, as Logan would say.
Thank you very much.
And she had a very dry delivery with her jokes as well. For me, at times, she was a little too dry. Like I wanted some enthusiasm behind her bite, and it just was a little soft, but it was still very good. So like even this, like so far, she was my least favorite of the 3, but I still thought she did really well.
That was my critique. I thought that she was a little too dry at some points. I think I laughed the least with her, but I still did laugh. And that's the whole part of it. I thought she's so cool, calm, and chill, like in her persona, that I felt like she just was too cool, calm, and chill in this situation where I felt like she needed a little bit more oomph in her delivery. But what she said was funny. It was just the delivery of what she was saying that just was like, okay, girl, that's funny, but feels a little, but it was still funny. And she, as always, looks amazing.
Yeah.
She's the makeup artist, so absolutely, it worked.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think she was towards the bottom for me. Not that she gave a bad performance at all. I think my difficulty with Juriji on this season, and I am a Juriji lover. I love Juriji. I'm so thrilled that she's on this season. But my number one concern about her going into the season was when we saw her on season 2, a lot of her delivery in the, acting, comedy, snatch game, those kinds of challenges, her delivery when it comes to those kinds of things is very much so the same. It's this dry sense of humor. It's this like laissez-faire sort of presentation of things. And that's what we saw in this episode, unfortunately. Again, not a bad routine by any means of the imagination. But I just think I agree with you both. I wanted a bit more levels with what she was presenting, and I wanted a bit more tongue-in-cheek, and what she gave was very dry delivery, but very solid delivery. So. And then we go to Pupi.
Whom was not bad.
No.
Was not bad at all. I thought she had a lot of funny jokes. And I do think she found that balance that she was worried about of like not being too offensive or hurting anybody's feelings and still keeping it funny. Not every joke landed. There were a few times where it was like you could tell that the judges, the people in the audience just didn't quite appreciate it, which is fair. The biggest issue I had, and I'm glad the judges pointed out, was she was so dependent on the notes, and that kind of took away for me just a little bit. But still, like, this was my least favorite of the 5, and this being the low bar is much higher than most other roasts, like probably every other roast. Like, she was not bad by any means.
Yeah, absolutely. She wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't as good as the 2 that we talked about before, Juriji, and it was okay. And I agree, some jokes just didn't work, but they weren't. This wasn't a bad set, and I thought she did well. I thought she delivered what she delivered well. It's just that some of the jokes weren't as funny as the others, but it was still good. It was still a good set. And like I said, if this is the low bar, yeah, it says a lot for this roast.
Definitely. She was number 5 for me. And I say number 5 as opposed to my least favorite because, again, it wasn't a bad performance at all. I love her concept of going in and be like, oh, Lord, girl, let me tell you about this woman that comes into the salon every week. Mm-hmm. I think that was such a smart way to go about it. That's probably the way that I would have gone about something like this. Is like, oh, let me tell you the gossip. Let me give you the tea on all of these people and do the roast in that sort of way. I think it was a very solid presentation that just... her flow as well was a little, she was a little too fast in her presentation. Some of her jokes didn't land necessarily in the way that she would have wanted, but not a bad performance whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think my favorite part was actually the very end when she was introducing Samantha and she was using Samantha's voice, because I was like, that was spot on. Like, that sounded so
Was
much
she doing
like
Samantha, or was she doing Samantha's Snatch Game character? Because I got the latter from it.
Either way, it sounded like Samantha talking to me.
Well, yes, of course. Yeah, totally. And then we go to Samantha, who killed it.
Absolutely killed us.
Yeah. She had me from the moment she thanked Danny DeVito for introducing her.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She was so good. Like, honestly, one of the best roasts I've ever seen from a
top 5. I would say top 5 for sure.
I think this character that she decided to do was so smart. Like, she wanted to do the drunk character, and sometimes we see people go too far with that. I think she found the perfect balance. Like, she came out, I'm like, wait, is she actually tipsy? Because she was giving me
honestly, it would not surprise me if she was.
No. But yeah, she was so animated. Her jokes were so funny the whole time. I literally was smiling the entire time she was doing her set. I think my favorite part, though, and I wish she had stopped it before telling the punchline, but when she called Supreme toxic, I'm like, ooh, come on.
And then also called her Diana V. I was like, I got that. And I was like, oh,
yep. And the hobbies were like, oh, how could she call her toxic? It was so fun. No, her whole set was perfection. It was the best.
It was the best. What can you say? It was the best. That's it. That's the tweet. It was the best.
That's my girl right there. You all underestimated Samantha Ballentines.
I did.
Again. Say it again. My favorite joke of the entire roast is when she's in the middle of her drunk tirade against Supreme, and it's right after she calls her toxic and compares her to Diana V, and then she goes, I love that when Supreme is like, who cares what I do? Who cares? I care! And then she goes, mental health, Supreme, mental health. And I died laughing. And I was like, please cut to Sagittarius. Please cut to Sagittarius. Please cut to Sagittarius. And they didn't cut to Sagittarius.
I mean, I'm like, that moment, I was like, yes, call her out for not letting this woman who wanted to go home for mental health reasons, you say, no, we don't have to do that. You just have to sit here and be humiliated and get voted out instead of just leaving on your own terms. Sorry, that's just the rules. Like, I love that moment. I was like, yes, Samantha, you have redeemed yourself from the horrible beginning of the show that you gave me. Everybody else, not so much. Samantha Ballentines a little bit.
In the words of Set Her Aside, Valentina Arenas, where are you at? Because I'm here. I'm sat and I'm ready for Samantha Ballentine supremacy. So,
yeah. And I want to give this whole group some credit because I always talk about how hard it is for humor to translate to me specifically.
David doesn't laugh.
Yeah. I did laugh during this one. So like all of them, their humor, it really did translate. So
any other season, any of them would have been in the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, this is such a high caliber of performance. Who would you both have had? Okay, it's Samantha in the top 2 for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Who else would y'all have had based only on the roast?
I honestly would have had Drag in the top 2, but it was tough because I was like, this really should be a top 3. If any week should have been a top 3, it was this one because Hornella was so good too.
Yeah, I would have had Hornella because I felt like I laughed more with Hornella than I did with Drag. Just a little bit.
That's the exact reason why I also would have had. Oh Lord, I also would have had Hornella in the top.
And the concept, like I got it. It took it over.
The concept of Hornella's fit a little bit more with the theme of the roast than did, but not even by that much. Because even then, in that debate, there's still Juriji, who was a very, very solid like 4th in there for me, and then even then Pupi, who did phenomenal. But unfortunately, there's just a high caliber on this roast. But yeah, so. And I wanted to highlight as well the lovely, wonderful, fantastic quartet over here. The Eliminated Queens were back. I love Onyx in her Kelly Hilton bodysuit. That made me very happy. I know a lot of people have worn bodysuits like this, but I attribute to it as the Kelly Hilton bodysuit. So that's that. But I have to, Miss Pinchadora, I know you were coming on here for a guest spot. Why did her makeup look so bad?
Oh, did it?
Like, did anyone else notice? It looked so bad. It looked like she didn't even take time to blend her eyeshadow. There was no, like,
I ain't paid that much attention to her, to be honest.
That's fair.
And that's not shade, no shade, just Pinchadora. I just didn't pay that much attention to all of them.
But you know who I did pay attention to?
Sagittaria.
That's
because she looks stunning.
Ugh. And Paquita looks phenomenal as always, also. The
back row,
questionable, but
yeah, the back row, they were the stars of this, especially with their like banter back and forth with the people as they were being roasted. I thought that was fun.
Oh, Sagittaria would have killed this roast too. I already know it. She would have done so. But, you know, we'll never see that. It's fine. So, category is Martir-ized, based on the Spanish singer Martirio. Night of 1,000 Martirios is basically what it is. None of us are familiar with this woman, but from a cursory Google search, her fashions are gorgeous. So that's that. Please inform us in the comments below who this fabulous woman is. Thank you very much. So, first up, Juriji Der Klee. Let me get rid of this so we see the garment.
Yeah, I thought Juriji looked great. I thought this was a wonderful shape on her. The fabric was very pretty. I didn't understand the whole cow part of it, but I'm sure it makes sense to people. I really like the headpiece as well. Yeah, there's nothing to complain about here. I think this is probably my second favorite look. Yeah, it's my second favorite.
I like the look. I thought she looks beautiful in it. We've seen a look like this before on some other franchises, that silhouette. But I liked it. I liked it then, and I like it now. And I love what she did with the headpiece and then the glasses that were very interesting with the veil. I liked how she presented this. And I was a fan of this. I thought she looked gorgeous.
I really love this. I love the whole, drapery moment with this headpiece is absolutely gorgeous. I don't get any of this, but I find it so gorgeous that like I don't care. The way that the garment is constructed, this sort of silhouette feels very Martir-ized from the little bit that I've seen from this episode. And I love this kind of big over-exaggerated silhouette. The fabric on this is gorgeous. I love this lace detailing in the top. I think she looks remarkable.
Yep, she's a Martirio girl.
In a Martirio world.
Mm-hmm.
Scores for Juriji.
84.
89.
90. Yes, 90. That's what I'm going with. Next up, Hornella Gongora.
Yeah, this is cute. I really like this on her. I like the whole shape. It gives me very flamenco, which is what she was going for here. I think my only nitpick I had was the wig. I just wanted something bigger. Like it feels like the wig kind of gets swallowed up because there's so much else going on. But she looks really good. This is probably my third favorite.
I like this. I like the shape of it. I love the flamenco of it. I love the sleeves and the over exaggeration at the bottom and then the arms. I love that she threw in a little yellow and black on the side to just break up the monotony of all that red and white checkers or whatever design. I kind of like it. It's giving the España flag in there because she got the España flag earrings on. So, and then the yellow in the hair with the red roses in the hair. I kind of like this. I don't mind the wig. I like a good short, punky kind of wig. I think it's something different. It fits more of Hornella than like because we could have got a big flowy red, like that's glamorous and cute, but that's not always Hornella. I mean, she's got her tattoos showing and it's giving me the punky, edgy, rocky kind of vibe. So I'm feeling it. I like it. I'm a fan. I like this look.
So this was my favorite look of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I really there's something about this red houndstooth with all of the flowers coming down the side. I thought I agree with you, Lana. I think it was a really nice way to break up all of that. The sleeves, I think, are gorgeous. The wig, I do understand your point, David, for sure. I just think with everything else being so dramatic and over the top, I kind of liked that the wig was a little bit smaller. I think there could have been a bit more volume in the base wig itself, and I think there could have been a couple more flowers. But again, I don't know the exact Martirio reference. The fascinator on here is so different. And Anna Locking was talking about how this was like her abstract sort of period. And I really do see that in this look. The black detailing here is everything. I think the skirt is gorgeous. This all came together in such a gorgeous way for me. Has Hornella missed on the runway?
I think maybe.
For me, I think she is.
I think a dip. Maybe not a miss, total miss, but a dip for sure.
I don't remember. Anyway, she's gorgeous. Scores.
I gave her an 82.
Gave her an 87.
I gave her a full.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. So, full for me. Next up, Drag Sethlas.
Drag.
Come on, Drag. I made a face when you said Hornella was your favorite, but that's only because this exists. Like,
and this is a close second for me. Don't worry. This is a close second for me.
Good. It's so good. Like, as annoying as she has been lately, she does not miss on the runway. She's one that, honestly, like, if I had to, like, think about the best drag packages I've seen on any drag show, she's way up there for this season. Way up there. I really love this. The headpiece. I really love the fabric she chose here. This is stunning.
I mean, this is nice, but this is what I expect. This is what I expect from Drag Sethlas. This is what we got week after week. This is what we get. We get a big, huge headpiece, a beautiful garment. I expected this. This is what she does. Nothing less, nothing different. And we saw butt. Sure, great. That's what we expect from drag. Like, nothing about this look surprised me. When she turned the corner, I was like, yep, that's typical drag Sethlas. Beautiful, but typical. So I wasn't surprised. But it's the semifinals. So I'm not like mad at that. Like, I am not mad at anything. Now, the finals, I want to be surprised. I want to be blown away. Is it a good look? Absolutely. Can't deny it. Beautiful look. But I'm just like not surprised. I'm not like, this is something I've never seen before, because we've seen it last week and we've seen it the week before last and we've seen it the week before last. And she has missed on the runway because that mirror look was not,
yeah.
let's
Good point.
not act like that. She missed.
She didn't miss with anything she brought.
Yeah, no, she did not miss with anything she brought, but she missed with stuff she made. But this is good. This is good.
It's very good. I think I think I agree with you, Lana. It's just there's a standard that Drag Sethlas has, presented to us. And I don't think this look is bad by any means of the imagination. My score will reflect the fact that it is a very, very, very good look.
Mm-hmm.
It's spectacular. I can't say anything negative about this look. I just think it's gorgeous. The nude illusion is what I had an issue with.
There's a nude illusion?
There is.
Mm-hmm. In that hip area and down.
And in the chest as well.
In the chest area. No.
The one time David doesn't notice a nude illusion.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Ugh. Okay. I'm like, the one time I notice is the one time David doesn't.
This is the second time I think I podcasted with David where he did not notice a nude illusion.
Yep. Didn't notice it when I watched. Didn't notice it now.
In Russia Fox, he was like, I didn't see a nude illusion.
Literally.
I'm like, what's right there? I was like, didn't see it.
Right there, David.
But I think it's because you just like these people so much. And it was a beautiful outfit, so you just didn't see it. It's cute.
I don't think it has to do with that because
I don't think it does either, but I think it's a funny coincidence. I'm going to be honest with you.
People you really like.
I would not say I really like Drag Sethlas after this season.
Well, that's fair.
I respect her more than I like her. Sure. 94. Anyway.
Same. That's what I gave her too, a 94.
I guess I don't even have to announce when.
Nope, we don't need it.
Jesus,
move it along.
Okay. 95.
Okay.
Move it along. We don't need to wait for you to
announce. Pupi Poisson.
Pupi.
Okay. I think it's a decent dress that she has on. Her problem is she came after the other three people.
Correct.
I like this fabric. It does look like it. So I don't know the technical term for this, but there are sometimes fabrics that I will have, like a shirt or something, and there is like one string that gets pulled and it tightens up parts of the material. And it kind of looked like that was happening down like in the crotch area. I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but it looked like, oh crap, a thread got pulled and now things are getting tightened where it should not be. So that was a little distracting for me. And the back piece looked a little crafty compared to everybody else's. But I still don't think it's bad. It just has some issues. So it was my least favorite on the runway. Nope. It was not.
Beautiful color. Not a fan of the outfit itself. It was a nice dress. I agree with everything you said, so I don't have to repeat it. But yeah.
It's good. It's one of the better things Pupi Poisson has worn on Drag Race. But I noticed the bunching in the bottom of the skirt as well. It's a good, fine look. It's just not groundbreaking. But hey, if there's one thing I do enjoy, it's a drag queen on Drag Race in purple. I always like some purple.
Absolutely.
I love these sleeves on her as well. This kind of like bell sleeve with the ruffle. I really like that. The comb, I believe, is what they were calling it, or at least what the subtitles called it on our end, I think. But the comb behind her, I don't get the reference, but it did look a little messy. If that's intentional, great. I I don't know the reference. And I thought her makeup looked great. So all in all, not too bad for Pupi Poisson. Scores.
72.
80.
I give her an 87. And last up, Samantha Ballentines.
Okay, this was my least favorite. Look, you can't win everything in an episode, apparently, Samantha. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this. I think it feels like there's too much going on, especially with the colors. It lacks cohesion for me. Like looking at it, it's not bad per se. It's just like slightly an eyesore, if that makes sense. Just because I'm like, oh, I gotta concentrate and like take in this like salmon dress with this bright pink thing on top of it, and then the weird green mermaid, whatever. I don't know. It's just not for me. I do like the headpiece though, and the wig. The wig is nice too.
I love the headpiece. I love the SB headpiece, and then all the fruit and stuff all in the head, and it's very cute. I like the glasses with the flowers on it, but I do agree it's just too busy. It's a lot going on with this look. I don't know where to put my eye. I thought she presented it very well, but she was funny and she had campiness on the runway, and I was like, okay, work. But I was just like, it's just too much to look at. It's a lot I don't know where to put my eye, and it's a lot.
I don't mind it. I do agree that there's a lot going on here. But I think the SB headpiece is my favorite part of the entire thing. I like the fruit headpiece, and I think the glasses are good. And I actually do like the green kind of ruffled skirt that's going on. It's the entire midsection for me kind of throws it off. But even then, I don't find myself hating this for some reason, and I'm not entirely sure why. Because I should really dislike this, and yet in some weird way I don't. It's my least favorite of the 5 on the runway, but I still like don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. I don't know. Scores? I don't know anymore.
Gave her a 60.
I give her 76.
I gave her an 83. For some reason. I still don't really know why necessarily, but
It's okay.
But yes, so we get our critiques, we do our things, and we find out that the top 2 of the week and automatically moving on to the final is Samantha and Drag Sethlas.
Deserve.
Deserve.
I had to get it up because I didn't have it up. But, yeah, very deserved based on overall performance. They've both now broken into the top 10 for points per episode of all time.
Wow.
And Drag Sethlas now has the best track record of all time.
Makes sense.
I mean, when you go win, high win. Yeah. So I'm happy Kiona had her best track record.
Me too. I was like,
for, at least a little bit of time. And I think Samantha popped onto the list at like number 7, even. Like, even hers is in the top 10, which I think is phenomenal. And in this week, if you're not in the top, you're in the bottom. Okay, whatever. Sure. Fine. Cool. So this is where all of the queens go back to do their talks, whatever. And this is where we find out the twist. Where the whole entire reason that the eliminated queens are here is to give one of the bottom 3 the golden beaver, basically. It's the golden beaver. I was like, oh, hey, beaver. Not really, but sure. So they have to unanimously come to a decision on who amongst Pupi, Hornella, or Juriji to save. And if the queen that wins the lip sync picks the person that the eliminated queens saved, then that person is safe and they get to pick who else goes to the final four and who goes home. This was convoluted for no damn reason, but oh boy, was it entertaining.
I was about to say, I loved it. I loved
so
it.
entertaining, but it's like the way to get there was so like, okay, so this, I really felt like Sagittarius in that moment. She was like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
But I loved this. It was such a weird, different choice for absolutely no reason. And I was like, okay, this is different.
Yeah, I really like seeing, we're all big fans of social strategy games, and that's what this became. We got like a 2-minute mini social strategy game where people were like, how can I get my person in there? And let me think about the layers. Oh no, what if this happens? Because everybody was like, well, they're both going to take Juriji. Okay, yeah. So what? What if the person that they choose to cut does not pick Juriji to go to the final four with them? So it was very like complicated, and I love that it just became Onyx versus the season 3 girls. It was season 2 versus season 3, and Sagittaria was there with her hands up saying, I have no investment in here.
Sagittaria coming in, looking at the judges who actually pull out popcorn, which this entire sequence is some of the most campiest bullshit I've seen on Drag Race in a long time, and I was honestly so here for it. The judges pull out popcorn, and then in the middle of this disagreement between Onyx and Paquita and Pintadora, Sagittaria puts whatever differences she had with Supreme and the judges out of her mind and goes, can I get some of that popcorn? Walks over, takes a bucket of popcorn from the hottie. And then when there's a lull in the conversation, she goes, so we're all voting for Pupi, right?
I wonder what would happen if it was a deadlock, because they said it had to be unanimous, which was not true because it clearly wasn't unanimous unless some people switched. We won't get into it yet. But I don't know. Honestly, I think the most fair thing to do would have been to just pick Juriji so you're not meddling in the decision.
I think the most fair thing, honestly, and I wouldn't have wanted this to happen because I would have wanted Hornella and Juriji to go to the final. I think the most fair thing here to do is pick Pupi. Because no one's fighting for Pupi. That's where my brain goes with this. It's like the season 3 girls were obviously going to go for Hornella, and Onyx was obviously going to go for Juriji. If Sagittarius is not even going for Pupi, which I don't blame her, in that scenario, it's like, okay, pick the person who no one's really going for to make it the most even. But I wouldn't have wanted that because, quite frankly, I would have wanted Pupi out at this moment amongst these 3.
Let's be real. Ain't nobody trying to be fair. We are playing a game in this moment. And my game brain was like, I am not trying to be fair. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to fight, and I'm going to fight for who I want, who's going to be best for me, and what I want to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk y'all down until y'all either say, I'm tired of fighting with you, you can have your way, or we just at a stalemate. And I think them season 3 girls was like, look here, y'all been coming for us this whole season, and we ain't have a chance in you know what to even stand our ground in this game. So what we gonna do now is we gonna take the power that y'all threw all of us at, y'all threw us in this jury. Now we finna take this power back, and we go say it's better in numbers. And I would fight you down, and I'll be like, I'm not changing my mind, so what are we doing? Well, you can be like, but I think this is fair. I don't want to do that, so what are we doing? But I think we could make it even. I don't want to do that, so what are we doing? And I'm going to sit there and hold my ground. I'm going to filibuster you until you either come my way or we just not going to have a decision. And I'm going to be fine with that. And I'm going to stand 10 toes down in that because this is a game. And I felt like that's what happened. I felt like them season 3 girls was like, nope, it's Hornella or nothing. It's Hornella or nothing. So what are you doing, Onyx? Onyx like, but I think we should. It's Hornella or nothing. What are we doing, Sagittarius? But I think we should. It's Hornella or nothing. So what are we doing?
Sagittarius didn't give a fuck. Sagittarius didn't want to be there.
That's all I'm saying. All of them they were just like, and Sagittarius was like, sure, I don't care, whatever you want to do. And I think that's what ended up happening. Sagittarius didn't care enough.
Yep.
Fight for Pupi, and she wasn't
or Juriji.
Or Juriji. She did not care enough because she's like, y'all all sent me out the door, and I was ready to go. I'm still ready to go. I don't even want to be here right now. I want to be at home.
Sagittarius will have been in every single episode of this season is incredible to me based on what happened. Absolutely. She even said on Twitter, she's like, the fact that I'm in every episode of this season.
Wild.
But if you had told me going into this season that the person that I had the highest opinion about coming out of this season was Sagittarius, wild turn of events, because I was never a Sagittarius fan on season 1. So
crazy. I think she's lovely.
I think she's lovely too. I think she's very nice. I hope she has some fluency in English, and I think she deserves a spot on another All-Star season where they're actually going to judge her properly.
I still have the highest opinion on Onyx, especially after seeing her looks on Instagram.
Oh, yes, of course.
They're so good.
Look, I'm not saying Sagittarius is the only one. I'm just saying my top opinion is on Sagittarius. With
Onyx was somebody who I did not know, and I grew to love, and I still like her. I was like, oh, I like her. her. Now, Paquita and Pinchadora and Hornella, I watched them, so I had opinions on them.
And we still love them all the same.
I'm still in love with Paquita. Like, Paquita could still, my offer still stands.
Great.
But
I assume Eve's does as well.
I'm sure. So. But Onyx and Sagittarius maybe go like, okay, I kind of really do like them.
So while they're doing that, the girls are having, whatever conversations. None of these conversations backstage mattered. So let's just go to whatever this lip sync was. Samantha versus Drag, lip syncing to Lola Flores, who I love. La Zarzamora, which is a song I know. Because this is a song that I remember playing in a Mexican restaurant that I frequented very regularly when I was a child. And my family would go there all the time, and I remembered this song, and it was very nice. And this was a lovely one-sided lip sync with a very clear winner, and there was no other universe otherwise.
No, because I don't know about y'all, but I was kind of like, is Drag trying to throw this?
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
oh, yeah, that's what I got from it.
I was like, does she not want? Because usually and no, this wasn't the song for Drag Sethlas to do what Drag Sethlas does.
Yeah.
But even in that, Drag is a performer. And so I'm like, she go into this performance, right? But I think somebody said it in the confessionals, they're like, she's leaning into the comedy side, which Drag Sethlas ain't the comedy queen. So I'm like, what you leaning into this whole
and even with that, you're gonna do a comedy routine to La Zazzarora?
Right. And
Sagittarius was like, girl, even I know better than to do that to La Zazzarora. I was like,
what are we doing?
What are we doing? And then pulling out the photo of Sagittarius, I was so confused.
I was very confused.
Because I believe, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I believe that when we see in 2 weeks, when we see who Drag pulled, I honestly think it could be Juriji.
Yeah.
Big competition.
0%. Especially after their conversation they had.
I mean, I think
it would be good TV if she did.
Like bold-faced lie to her face, say you don't have to worry at all. And then
I've seen worse.
You're probably right.
From people that have a relationship going back.
It could be true.
Well, okay, you're probably right, but I think it would be very entertaining.
It would be.
What also was very entertaining was this lip sync by Samantha Ballentines.
Yes. So I think this is one of the most one-sided lip syncs I've seen in a while. And this is one where the whole time, anytime I would see Sethlas or Drag, I should say, yes. I'd be like, stop it. Go to the corner. Stop. I'm trying to watch her. Try to watch her, because I got the illusion that this was Samantha singing. just the way it matched up, it sounded like it could have been coming out of her mouth. And I felt like there was even a point where Sethlas walked by with that photo, and you could tell that Samantha looked at it, and then she went straight back to what she was doing. And I was like, the Samantha I know from season 2 would have gotten so distracted and would have started goofing around based on that. She didn't let herself get distracted.
She would have gotten naked.
Yeah.
She would have taken her wig off. She didn't take her wig off.
I know. It took 5 lip syncs. She finally left the wig on, and I loved it. And this is my favorite Samantha lip sync. And this is my favorite lip sync from an individual this season.
I agree.
I could agree with you on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. To nobody's surprise whatsoever, Samantha wins.
Because it's deserved. She ate that up. Left no crumbs.
She
Deserve.
Exactly. And she also deserves. Yes. So Samantha wins the lip sync. And we find out that the lipstick she pulled was Pupi Poisson. But wait!
Oh no. What could possibly happen next?
This whole moment was so anticlimactic, and I was just like, girl, what is this?
Would they have picked Pupi?
Could they have
I think
done
they
it?
did. I think they picked Pupi.
Oh my god!
I think
Pinchadora, I need you to waddle over in this gown that you can barely move in, and I need you to tell us who you chose.
I think Sagittaria had a last-minute change of heart.
Absolutely.
Pushed everybody and said, hey guys, we gotta give it to Pupi.
Hey, I had to leave because of my mental health. Let's save Pupi. No, because the eliminated girls chose Hornella, which she was a little like, she teared up. She was like, my girls really fought for me.
Absolutely.
I was like, yes, they sure did.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They stood 10 toes down and wouldn't move, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. And we do say goodbye to Pupi Poisson, who I will say, on an overall note, I found her a lot more palatable on this season. I come out of this season, not feeling positively or negatively towards Pupi. I think she's talented. We got to see her talent on display on this season. And like she said, she'll be back next season probably. So, I'm excited to see her cameo on season 4.
Season 5 and season 6.
6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. All of them. All of them.
Yeah, definitely improved looks. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Still not a fan. Sorry.
That's valid. And that's where we're at with a final 4 of season 2 and Hornella.
If only it was all of season 2.
But Hornella.
4th place.
How dare you? How dare you?
I've never been that big on her. I think she's fine.
I don't think I'm not. I wasn't. It didn't have to be Hornella, but it should have been Brigida. But whatever. Sure.
And might I add to that, David Healy, that Hornella is the only 2-time finalist on Drag Race España.
Word.
Emphasis on the word fine.
All right.
Some respect on her name.
A little bit.
She's fine.
Don't you dare disrespect my father like that.
A little bit. But anyway.
That is kind of wild to me that she's the only person who was a finalist who made the final on this season. But there were a couple, so there were 3.
Okay, good. We should move.
Okay. Well, next week is the reunion, so we won't be here to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So we will not be here next week to talk about the reunion.
Oh.
And then in 2 weeks we have a finale. Who knows what the finale format is? I actually don't. So
There were only 2 finalists.
There were 3.
Who's the 3rd?
Sagittaria, Pupi. Oh no, revisionist history.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, no, it was only Sagittaria and Hornella.
Yep. Okay.
You're correct. Why do I feel like Pupi was?
Because they sure treated her like she was going to be a finalist a whole season.
Well, and every other season they've done top 4s. I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I was like, oh, she got 4th. No. So yes, we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk all things finale and maybe a bit of the reunion. Who knows? I don't know why we need a reunion for a 5-episode season, but work, Diva. Do I even dare do a draft update? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. You won.
I won.
Yeah. Logan won.
All right.
The end.
The end. You won.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. I celebrate both of you when you have draft wins.
We
but I don't feel like I
celebrated
get
you last week when we announced you won. Like literally clapped and
that. Okay, well, I wasn't here for that.
you know.
It was a big fan.
Logan wins. Logan
Thank
wins.
you,
Such
Lana.
draft. Logan wins. Logan wins. Logan
You
wins.
need points.
Yes, give Logan the points.
Okay. The points in third place is Lana with 15 points. In second place is Eve with 27.5 points. And in first place is David with 54.5 points. Just kidding. It's Logan. I didn't draft. But if I did draft, I would have done just as bad as Lana.
Yep. Yep.
Well, it is what it is.
You know, picking Drag and Samantha back-to-back really did something for me. So that's that. We're going to get out of here because that's all we got to do today. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. Same time, same place. Maybe other people. Maybe a bunny. Who knows? Probably not. She's probably given up on the season. I don't know that to be true, but probably. Anyway, we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk all things finale. This season will finally be over. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. We've got 2 other channels as well, with almost all things reality TV and almost all things Eurovision Song Contest, with a lot of fun things coming on the way. I might not say 2 channels extra moving forward. Ooh. Ooh. And if you want to become a member of our channel and join the tea room, make sure to hit the join button here on this video and on this channel. Or you can head over to Patreon. Same content, different platform. That link will be down in the description below. While you're down in the description below, you could go follow us on our socials at The Cut Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And you could go follow the 3 of us as well. And you could go get your merch, including but not limited to Cup Mug, down below as well. And with all that being said, cheers.
Cheers.
Supreme is toxic.
Toxic AF.
Who cares what I do? I care, Supreme. I care. Mental health, Supreme. Mental health.
Indeed.